Welcome back to another fun-filled show. I am your host. He is Blanchard, aka Free Blanche, aka Blanche Stradamus, aka Blanchy Kruger. Today's title is Segregation, White Flight, Gentrification, and Black Spaces. Now, you will often hear Black people say that they want spaces exclusively for Black people. You will often hear Black people talk about separation from white people. You will often hear Black people saying they want their own nation without any white influence. If you talk to the average Black person, they would agree with Black people being separated from white people. If you don't believe me, just do your own study and just ask a random 20 Black people, and I guarantee 18 of them will say that they want to be separate from white people. Now, what you will find ironic is that when white people say we want to be separate from Black people, then all of a sudden it becomes a problem. Now, why would Black people be okay with being separate from white people, but not be okay with white people being separate from Black people? I will tell you, it is because of jealousy. It is because of envy. It is because that to be Black, there must be a opposition to white. If white is not around Black, then Black doesn't mean anything. So in other words, if you go to Africa, racism doesn't exist. Why? Because 99% of the population is African. You're not going to make money in Africa talking about racism. You're not. You can make money in Western countries talking about racism. It's $1 billion industry in Western countries. But in Africa, nobody cares about racism because everybody is whatever their country's nationality is or tribe or whatever. So the reason why Black people are so offended and so afraid of white people leaving their presence is because without white opposition, Black doesn't really exist. I know it sounds crazy and weird but if Black people want to have their own spaces, isn't that the same thing? In context, no. Black people having their own spaces means that Black people can exclude white people. So in other words, the Black space means I'm around white people, but I'm excluding them from this space. But if white people leave altogether, now all of a sudden we have a problem. Again, this goes back to jealousy. This goes back to envy. And this goes back to revenge. And that's pretty much the spirit behind all of this racial divide in America. This racial divide in America is not being pushed by white people. It is being pushed by the majority of Black people. Why? Because the majority of Black people think the same. Every measurable piece of data shows that. We look at politics, we look at economics, we look at anything. Everything points to Black people having a hive mind. And everybody's going to say, well, Blacks aren't a monolith. They're not. I dare you to come up with a questionnaire of asking 10 questions that you believe Black folks are going to have a different opinion on. And I guarantee out of those 10 questions, 8 of those questions will be what most Black people think. I'm just telling you. Black people are a monolith. They are. And it's because Black people are the products of propaganda and programming. They are the babies of communism. So what it means to be Black is programming. To be Black is to be controlled. It's programming. So that means that a Black person isn't thinking independently or operating independently. A Black person is operating off a program. And this is further reinforced by the Nielsen study that stated that Black people consume 40% more media than the rest of the planet. This is what I'm telling you. Black people consume 40% more media than the rest of the planet. That means that the average Black person is getting their outlook on life from mainstream media and entertainment, Hollywood. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this is where we are. Let's just jump right into it. Hope you're having a blessed Sunday. What's up, Neek? Happy Sunday. What's up, Mad Sketch? Let's continue.
Is in our midst. Lessons from Katrina, the barbaric behavior of the city's black population after the hurricane revealed a key truth. Blacks and whites are different. When blacks are left entirely to their own devices, Western civilization, any kind of civilization, disappears. You don't think that's a racist statement?
That is an observation of what happened in Katrina, and I think it applies equally to those circumstances in which blacks, in fact, are left entirely to their own devices. In sub-Saharan Africa, before either Arabs or whites showed up, there was no written language, there were no calendars, no mechanical devices, no two-story buildings. And so I think without a written language and a calendar, it's hard to have a civilization.
You know, it's really interesting. Who built the pyramids, sir? Did white people? No, I'm asking. Did white people build the pyramids?
I'm talking about sub-Saharan Africa. If you are not aware of where the pyramids are, they are north of the Sahara.
So this guy, I don't know his name. So when it came to Katrina, if you go back and look at Katrina, when it was chaos and there was a disaster in New Orleans with Katrina, how did black people behave? What was going on during Katrina? What were the reports? What was happening? I'll tell you. It was murders, sexual assaults, robberies, pillaging, looting, violence. It's a fact. During the earthquakes, after the earthquakes in Haiti, what happened? Murder, sexual assaults, violence, pillaging, looting. We have two major incidences that we've seen in our lifetime, Katrina and the earthquakes in Haiti. And they both had the same response. When it was a national or natural disaster, black men turned into barbarians and savages. You can't argue it because it's true. Like it's a fact. So you all want to point to the pyramids. Okay, let's say that black folks built the pyramid. So what? Anomalies don't define the standard. Exceptions don't make the rule. So if it's death, destruction, and damnation all the time, but you did one good thing, that one good thing doesn't matter. Because the rule is death, destruction, and damnation. So even if black people built the pyramids, so what? What are they doing now? So again, what this guy is talking about is true. But it's not true because of, in my opinion, IQ. It's not true because of IQ. It's true because of culture. And what you're going to find is that black culture itself, when I'm separating black culture from African culture, even Caribbean culture, I'm specifically talking about black culture for black people in America. Black culture is anti-stable society because black culture is built on opposition. It's built on rebellion. It's built on conflict. It's not built on peace, harmony. It's not built on that. Black culture is built from a quote unquote struggle or fight for freedom, a fight against an oppressor. That's what black culture is built on. So black culture in its very nature is going to be in opposition to anything that is functioning. The greatest indictment on everything is white flight and gentrification. That's the greatest determiner of what's really going on. And segregation. You hear black people say, prior to segregation, black folks were doing better. Think about what I'm saying. You have white flight. So when white people leave a black community, the community goes down. That destroys every argument that anybody has. If white people leave your area, then why aren't you rising up? Why is it going down? They're going to say, well, because white people remove the resources. So my question is, why don't you all have resources? You're telling me you're kings and queens. You're telling me that you're better than white people. You're telling me that you built the world. You're telling me that you built America. You're telling me all these great things, but when you're left alone, you can't do it. And many people are going to say it's because of IQ. I'm telling you, it's because of culture. Because black culture was a culture that was built in opposition. It is a culture that is built in revolting against something and being opposed to something. It is an anti-establishment culture. So anything that is normal, anything that is stable, anything that is structured, anything that is orderly, it will be in opposition in it. Otherwise, it can't exist. Black people can't exist without white people because there has to be a constant opposition just to be black. Hence why I said that to be black is to be controlled. So if white people leave, your community suffers. And then when your community has suffered and white people move back in and start to build it up, now you're upset. So you're upset when white people leave. You're upset when they come back. When you were segregated, you were upset. When you came together, you got upset. Again, because what they're not telling you is they have to be around white people to be black. If you're not around white people to have this created and manufactured opposition, then it doesn't mean anything to be black. It doesn't mean anything. If white people leave on a spaceship tomorrow, it's going to be the black folks that have some sense versus the black folks that don't. It's going to be the same dynamics. They'll have different terms for black people that don't want to be around them. They're going to call them the Uncle Toms, the whitewash. They're going to have all kinds of terms. There will still be the same type of separation because the separation between white and black isn't based on skin color. It's based on culture. It's based on culture. And I said before, if you have IQ and you have culture, culture will always win because culture is linked to somebody's identity. IQ isn't. Having a high IQ isn't linked to your skin color, but your culture is. So if most people have to choose between IQ and culture, they're going to pick their culture.
Africa is in our midst. Lessons from Katrina, the barbaric behavior of the city's black population after the hurricane revealed a key truth. Blacks and whites are different. When blacks are left entirely to their own devices, Western civilization, any kind of civilization, disappears. You don't think that's a racist statement?
That is an observation of what happened in Katrina, and I think it applies equally to those circumstances in which blacks, in fact, are left entirely to their own devices. In sub-Saharan Africa, before either Arabs or whites showed up, there was no written language, there were no calendars, no mechanical devices, no two-story buildings. And so I think without a written language and a calendar, it's hard to have a civilization.
You know, it's really interesting. Who built the pyramids, sir? Did white people? No, I'm asking. Did white people build the pyramids?
I'm talking about sub-Saharan Africa. If you are not aware of where the pyramids are, they are north of the Sahara.
And so again, black people will say, well, we built the pyramids. We didn't do anything. You all can't build a birdhouse now. You all can't build a doghouse now. So to take credit for some pyramids is insane. Black people lead the nation in abortion, homicide, divorce, poverty, lack of education, obesity, STDs. Like, to do all of these negative things and then point back to something thousands of years ago is not just childish and foolish, it's downright disrespectful to humanity. Black people owe the entire planet an apology for this foolishness. An apology for allowing themselves to be used by communists for the past century plus. You get mad at white folks when they leave. You get mad at white folks when they come back. And you know why? Because what you want to do is have white people around you, and you want to be able to rule over them. You want to be able to control what white people do. Now, you all need the structure of white people. You need the structure of Western culture, but you just want to dominate white people. You want revenge. You want control. You want Satan. The programming and propaganda
You must give me land because my grandfather was a slave. Well, then I would say, for God's sakes, find the man who had your grandfather as a slave and then demand the land from him. Don't bother me because I had no part of it.
Across the country, we asked whites whether the main reason Negroes had not made more progress was because of racial discrimination or because Negroes have not worked hard enough. This lawyer expressed a view we heard most often.
We find there is a reluctance upon the part of too many Negroes, particularly among the young, to take the hard and remunerative jobs that must be necessary to earn a living. There is a feeling that for some reason somebody owes them a living.
Just about half of whites in our survey said the Negro has not made more progress because he has not worked hard enough. Only 15% blames discrimination. Some had no opinion.
So let's be honest. Now, he didn't say that black folks don't work. He said that black folks don't work hard enough. And I talked about the black man not being fit to lead because the black man is the only man on the planet that has an excuse. That means the black man isn't successful. He can point to another person and say it's their fault. No other man has that luxury or that privilege. And that has made the black man weak, the weakest man on the planet. Therefore, the quote unquote black community will never be what it should be. There's no leadership. He didn't say that black folks don't work, so they don't work hard enough. And so again, when we talk about building up a society, we talk about building a nation, then men have to be the ones not only to lead, but also be the ones to sacrifice, but also be the ones to put everything on the line, to also be the ones that shed their blood, sweat, and tears. How many black men do you all know that live by that motto? No excuses. Blood, sweat, and tears. Total sacrifice. Total dedication to the future. What black men do y'all know even talk like that? What black men do y'all know that talk like that? I'm going to get it by my bootstraps. I'm going to tie my bootstraps up. I'm going to put my hands to the ground. I'm going to build. There's no excuses. What type of black men do you all hear talk like that? You don't even hear black men even talk. You can't even find a black man even talk like that. No excuses. What about racism? No excuses. What about Jim Crow? No excuses. What about slavery? No excuses. Black people hate that type of person. That type of black man will be hated. No excuses. Gatorade had a campaign slogan. They don't even have it anymore. Gatorade used to ask a question, is it in you? No excuses. Nike got a slogan, just do it. No excuses. So how can a group of men lead a nation, lead women and children anywhere if they are filled with excuses? So when I say the black man is weak, this is what I mean. He is the only man on the planet that has an excuse. Excuse me. And if a man has an excuse, he's not fit to lead. Because if a man has an excuse gives him a choice. And if he has a choice, it's always going to be between doing the will of God and doing the will of Satan. And an excuse always gives the person the out to do the will of Satan. This is why excuses are satanic and demonic. This is why black culture is an antichrist culture. Because it's built on excuses. I'm going to start it over.
And because my grandfather was a slave. Well, then I would say, for God's sakes, find the man who had your grandfather as a slave and then demand the land from him. Don't bother me because I had no part of it.
Across the country, we asked whites whether the main reason Negroes had not made more progress was because of racial discrimination or because Negroes have not worked hard enough. This lawyer expressed a view we heard most often.
We find there is a reluctance upon the part of too many Negroes, particularly among the young, to take the hard and remunerative jobs that must be necessary to earn a living. There is a feeling that for some reason somebody owes them a living.
Just about half of whites in our survey said the Negro has not made more progress because he has not worked hard enough. Only 15% blames discrimination. Some had no opinion.
I feel that they're basically lazy when this summer, for example, opportunity was given to them to better themselves in getting as many jobs as possible in various fields of retail, wholesale, and they don't take the full advantage of accepting the responsibility of going out for these jobs. They feel that they're not good enough for them.
About half of whites agreed with this woman, that Negroes tend to be lazy more than whites. And this...
Siraj said, black men talk like that, but don't apply it. Get it out the mud is the hood term. Yes, black men talk about getting it out the mud, but that's dealing with some nonsense, though. That's dealing with some streets. So that's dealing with illegal street. Getting it out, doing a crime and doing something illegally is not the same as hard work. And so black men talk like that, but it's with foolishness. It ain't with something that's honorable. Now, this woman said that they were offering black people jobs. Keep in mind that in these Western nations, i.e. America, they've had socialism. So they've had periods where they still do it now, where they just say, if you black, you can get a job. I don't know I've never met any black women that have ever struggled with employment, ever. I've never met any black women that couldn't get a job, ever. I know black women work somewhere 2 weeks, get leave, go somewhere else 2 weeks, leave. I'm talking about black women have never had a problem getting employed. This lady said that they had a hiring, probably some kind of hiring fair or something for the city offered, and they had all kind of, and black folks didn't show up. I remember one guy was talking during the Peter pandemic, i.e. COVID, and he said that he went to a meeting at the White House and everybody was, pitching for funding for their community during COVID. He said everybody was prepared except black people. He said black folks got talking about racism and segregation, wasn't prepared at all. because black folks feel entitled. If you tell a group of people that they deserve something they haven't earned, you're going to breed spoiled brats. That's what black people are, spoiled. They're spoiled. There's no way that black people aren't spoiled if black folks believe that if America falls, they're going to be all right. The only thing that gives you that kind of confidence on that delusional of a level is that you have it good in America. To think that if America crumbles, you're going to be okay, that means you have it great you have it so great in America that reality doesn't even apply to you. Black people's response to adversity lets you know that America isn't racist. Because if America was about to fall, truly, black folks would be fighting for it not to fall. The fact that black folks were okay with it lets you know that black people have it great in America. All these folks talking about how racist white people are, you would be nothing if you was born in Africa. You would be nothing if you was born in the Caribbean. You would be nothing. And the Caribbean is only better than Africa because it's closer to the United States. It has more ties to Western countries, i.e. Europe. If any of you all were born outside the United States, you would be nothing. You are only something because a country was built, a society was constructed around freedom. That means a person can choose to be great or choose to be a degenerate. But if you all were born anywhere else, you wouldn't be nothing. You'd be nothing.
This woman mentioned another charge against Negroes, that they have low morals.
Their sex problem, let's face it now, how many white people have 10 illegitimate children? Very few. Very few. This seems to be a trend with them. And I often wondered, what happens to these here men who follow these children? Are they busy making babies elsewhere, or are they busy in the civil rights march yelling for the civil rights?
And 4 out of 10 whites in our survey agreed that Negroes, more than whites, have low moral standards. However, half or more of whites disagree with some of the views you have just heard. For example, they reject the idea that Negroes are more likely than whites to have low morals. But for the moment, we're concentrating on attitudes opposed to racial integration.
Black people do have lower morals than white people. It's not genetic, though. It's not innate in black people. It's because of the culture. Black people do have lower morals than white people, but it's not because of a genetic disposition. It's because of culture. Black culture is a low moral culture. It is a culture of low character. So the average black person by default has lower character than all the other, not just white, all the other groups because of culture. Because see, black culture says if somebody shoots a child in the hood, don't snitch. If somebody robs an old lady, don't snitch. 50% of homicides in the black community go unsolved. Why? Don't snitch. If you want to know where black people are in America, just look at how they campaign to black folks to vote. We've seen the campaigns. Get your booty to the poll. You got strippers trying to get black men to vote. No voting, no bucking. You have trans and LGBTQs trying to get black folks to vote. Talking about sex, talking about vote for sex. Look at Kamala Harris. She ran an entire campaign on abortion, LGBTQ stuff, trans kids. Like, look what we're talking about. Just look at how they appeal to black people to vote. So then ask yourself, what are they using to entice black people? And ask yourselves, do you think black folks have a lower moral character? Yes. Look at how they campaign to Hispanics and everybody else to vote. There's a whole separate degenerate campaigning strategy that goes to black people. You know why? Because black culture is a culture of low character. I'm not making this up. Everything I'm saying can be proven. And you know it's true. When black folks talk about me, they're not saying I'm lying. They're calling me a sellout. They're not saying I'm lying, though. They're calling me a coon. They're not saying I'm lying, though. They're calling me a bootlegger. They're not saying I'm lying, though. They're not saying I'm lying. Sellout, bootlicker, coon, Uncle Tom, but they won't tell you I'm lying, which means they know what I'm telling is the truth, which goes back to a lower character among Black people. Black folks care about what it looks like, not what it is. Black people hate the facts, but they despise the truth. They hate the facts, but they despise the truth. Someone said, well, why don't you talk about the Jews? So somebody asked me. And I said, let's just say for argument's sake that the Jews run the world and they got this intricate and diabolical plot. What could the Jews do without Black people? How could they get everybody to buy into what they're doing without Black people? Tell me. They're going to use the aid? They're going to use Chinese people to do it? They're going to use Hispanics? They're going to use Indians? Who are they going to use to push this propaganda? Who are they going to use to push this programming? Eskimos? Sudanese? Who are the Jews going to use to push all of this stuff? If you look at every single wicked agenda, integration, multiculturalism, women's rights, LGBTQ rights, diversity, equity, and inclusion, the fight against oppression, the fight against racism, the fight against apartheid, immigration, all of these wicked agendas, how could any group of people use these agendas successfully without Black people? They couldn't. So if you're telling me the Jews run the show, they say as the man is the head, but the woman is the neck. If Jews are the head, then Black people are the neck, because none of this stuff can fly without the participation of Black people. The Jews have nobody to use. This only works with a Black-white dynamic. It don't work with nothing else. Everybody's tried, it don't work. Hispanics had a liberation movement, didn't work. Asians had it, didn't work. Native Americans didn't even try. It doesn't work. It only works when Black folks participate, because Black people are the people of influence. That is a gift given to them by God. It's not the Jews' fault that y'all got low character. It's not white folks' fault that y'all got low character. It's not anybody else's fault that you all choose to have low character. That is your fault. Be righteous. Be righteous. So again, you have a culture that lacks character. You have a culture that lacks character. You all have great examples of what to do to be successful. You have the Jews, you have the whites, you have the Asians, you have the Hispanics, you have plenty of groups to learn from. But your pride tells you that your way is the best way. And therefore, that's why you are suffering. I don't know what the 2017 comic book series is about. I don't know what that even is. I'm going to look it up, though. 2017 comic. I'm going to look it up.
In Chicago, we talked with a group of whites who call themselves lower middle class. They are worried about Negroes moving into their neighborhood.
And they are not responsible citizens. Until they live like we are, we don't want them.
I don't want to live with me, to tell you the truth. Whether they take care of it or not, I don't want to live with them. Because they ran away from home. And if I wanted to live with them, I wouldn't be paying high taxes like I am. I would have stayed where I was.
More than half of whites in our survey believe Negroes are more likely than whites to run down their own neighborhoods.
And it's true. Like, this is not an opinion. It's true. When black people get any kind of money, they leave from around black people. It's true. We talk about white flight. There's also such thing as black flight too. Black folks do the same thing. Black people do the exact same thing. When my ex had a condo in the Vinings, she had a condo in the Vinings. And I remember there was no problem in those condos. No loud music, no foolishness, no trash, no nothing. Until one day, a mother and a grown son moved in. Illinois plates. Black mom and 20-some-year-old son moved in. You want to know what was going on? Loud music, hallways filled with weed smoke, do-rag wrappers on the ground, chicken wings on the ground, McDonald's bags on the ground, plastic containers on the ground, and he was leaving trash. He had a little girlfriend too. He was leaving trash, and the dumpster to throw stuff away was literally 15 feet away. If he'd have walked 15 feet, he could have threw his trash away. He was putting his trash on the ground. His mother was paying fees. I don't know if she even stayed there. His mother was paying fees for the loud noise and the weed smoke. They ended up getting put out. The only black folks in her unit, I didn't see any black people in the complex. I'm sure there was. I didn't really see any, but in her unit, they were the only black people. And they ended up getting put out. Where I live, when I first got over here, white, no problem. Black folks move next door, here come the marshals. They on the run. Filling my trash can up with trash, bikes left on the ground, balls, trash. It's culture. And to be honest with you, a cultural lack of character means you're not going to respect anything. You see, black folks don't respect nothing. They feel entitled, like you owe them something. These folks was filling my trash can up. Think about that. Think about me going to throw my trash away and it's filled to the brim. Imagine that. Not white folks. White folks would never touch my trash. In fact, if I didn't get home early enough to, by the time I got home to put my trash bin up, they'd do it for me. Just because they don't want the trash sitting out there. Because, I go to work and go to the gym, so I get home later. They'll pull the trash can up for me. Black folks leave their trash can, leave on the trash can on the curb for weeks. And everybody knows I'm telling the truth. They know it. Everybody knows I'm telling the truth. Everybody knows when black folks start showing up, it's going to be a problem. Everybody knows that, even black people.
In the South, they throw the garbage out of the window and the pigs come and eat it. Here they throw the garbage out of the window and no pigs come and eat it.
In general, are Negroes as civilized as whites? 43% of whites said no, Negroes are not as civilized.
It's his image that he's building. They act like savages, like animals. They kill each other, they rape, they rob. When there's a riot, well, they wouldn't burn their own places. They had signs all over. Soul Brother. It made no difference. They robbed, raped, plundered, looted their own people.
What about the way Negroes...
And again, what's crazy is, notice how white people know how all that black power, soul brother, black, all that talk was they know it's cap. That's what he said. I'm a soul brother. He said, it don't matter. They still do it. And so what y'all did was you all penalized white people for seeing through the BS. You condemned a whole group of people because they saw through your BS. None of these white people have said it's because they're black. Every last one of them are talking about the culture. If you don't believe that black folks throw trash on the ground, just go to the hood. If you go to Toronto right now, Toronto might be the cleanest city in the world. Toronto has trash men picking up trash on Sunday. When I say picking up trash, I don't mean picking up trash. I mean on the sidewalk picking up trash. You know why? Culture. Go to the black neighborhood and tell me if they care about trash on the ground.
Care for their children. About 1/4 of whites say that Negroes are less likely than whites to take good care of their children.
The colored woman does not take care of a child, does not help to educate this child. There's no problem about it. They're ADC. The more children they can have, the more money they get to go out and play the lottery. They get more money to go out and drink a little more gin. But to take care of their children, put a pair of shoes on them. I blame the mother for not educating her child when they're born, from the day they're born till the day they grow up.
Lower intelligence.
Imagine these. This is filmed in the 60s. And everybody's going to watch it and say they're racist. But everything they're saying then is happening now.
One out of 4 whites also believe Negro children are more likely to hold back the class.
When you were in school, your mother made sure you did your homework before you went out. A colored child, the mother and father don't care if they ever do their homework.
And I feel that this is why the white child is so much more superior to the...
And this is why the white child is so much more superior to the black child, is because of white culture. Because of what white people value versus what black people value. If you don't believe me, just look at how they campaign. Just take a step back and just look how they market to black people. Do they market to black people with things like honor, character, integrity, principle? No. They appeal to black people with low vibrational things.
They say, you must give me land because my grandfather was a slave. Well, then I would say, for God's sakes, find the man who had your grandfather as a slave and then demand the land from him. Don't bother me because I have no part of it.
IOZ said, Blanche need to come to Jersey City. Just sit out in your car, maybe cruise around. You'll see people throwing their garbage out the windows by the dozen throughout the day. And it's crazy. I've been to Jersey City. I didn't see that, but I believe him. Anywhere, just tell me, people, when there's a concentration of black people, tell me what's good. Yeah, you can send it to my yeah. You can send it to my email. Yeah, you can send to my email if y'all want to send me something. Just send to my email. Let's continue.
The Black Panthers building their own medical center.
Well, first of all, the Black Panther Party, attuned to the needs of black people and other oppressed people, is open a free medical center for the same purpose we...
Why are the Black Panthers building their own medical center?
Well, first of all, the Black Panther Party, attuned to the needs of black people and other oppressed people, is open a free medical center for the same purpose we open a free breakfast center. Free breakfast program. It's to let the people know that we are concerned with their basic needs and desires, and also to educate the people to the fundamentals of socialism, and also to heighten the contradictions within this capitalistic system. When I mean heighten the contradictions, all I'm saying is that is let the people be aware of the fact that the Black Panther Party, an organization which only been existing since 1966, is taking care of people, helping them as far as health care is concerned, and the federal government with all its wealth and resources not doing anything on a major scale, you know.
Of the basic need in the black community for a free medical service.
Teachers.
Now, imagine these people saying this and folks believe in this. Imagine this, what this man just said, that the federal government is not doing this for people, and it's a lie. That's what welfare is. The literal government covering your food, your finances, and your medical expenses. Literally, as he's saying this, the federal government literally has welfare programs for the people. Even job location. So what is he talking about? What is he talking about when these same Black Panthers are getting government funding? What's he talking about? If anybody is in the Black Panther organization and they aren't working, they're getting either unemployment, they're getting some kind of subsidy from the government, some kind of food stamps, Medicare, they're getting something from the government to survive. It's just a bold-faced lie. Healthcare, what? Tell me a Black Panther healthcare plan and how that worked out. Y'all lead the nation in obesity now, so how did that work out?
Sociologists, speech therapists, social workers.
The Black Panthers were funded by liberal Jews and liberal whites. And most of the folks in those programs were getting government assistance, I guarantee it. So this notion that the government wasn't doing something is just a lie. If the government wasn't doing anything, then why are Black folks screaming about their food stamps being cut? Why are Black folks crying about having to look for a job while they're getting government assistance? Why were Black women having children just to get more government assistance and more food stamps? Stop. These folks been lying for a very long time. Nikki said, humans cannot give socialism, only Jesus can. Nikki said, so the same system that is racist and oppressive, they want socialism from. Exactly. It's just again, I'm gonna say this again, because Black people don't want to be separated from white people. Black folks don't want their own. Black people want to have the power to exclude white people from what they want. All this Black nation, Black liberation, that's all a smokescreen. Black folks want to be able to have the benefits of a Western society and culture, but also be able to rule over white people. That's all it is. It's nothing more than that. It's nothing more than that. It ain't no deeper than that. I did a video with Keisha, and I learned about Orania, and I was just fascinated with Orania. Fascinated with it. Let me let's look at it first. Let me see.
This is Owendale.
This is Owendale.
A community that.
Okay, that's another one. That's Owendale. That's another one. But I really want to get to Orania because this might be it.
So these people believe they are Africans. They live in Africa, but then they don't allow any blacks in their town. Now, I didn't even know that there's a place like this in Africa until Wodimaya went to this place. The name of this place is called Orania. It's in South Africa. Now, these people are Dutch settlers who came.
Imagine not even knowing about something, but when you find out about it, you want to destroy it. Like, imagine your life not being affected by Orania. Because he said most of these black folks that comment on this Orania didn't even know about it, live in the same country. They didn't even know about it. But when they find out about it, they want to destroy it. So you mean to tell me these white people that are separating themselves, that have no bearing on your life, when you find out they exist, you want to destroy it. And it keeps proving my point. This is not about racism or none of. Black people want to be able to benefit from Western culture, but they just want to be able to rule over white people. That's it. There ain't no deeper than that. Let me start over.
So these people believe they are Africans. They live in Africa, but then they don't allow any blacks in their town. Now, I didn't even know that there's a place like this in Africa until Wodimaya went to this place. The name of this place is called Orania. It's in South Africa. Now, these people are Dutch settlers who came to South Africa in the 17th century. And according to them, they bought the land from the government. The people from this place are called Afrikaners. Now, these people have their own culture. They have their own currency. They have their own flag and everything.
You get it?
If you want to be part of this community, first of all, you have to be a white person. That is the key factor. And second of all, you have to be fluent in their language, which is the Afrikaans.
Look at my face.
And third, you have to be a Calvinist Christian, and your record has to be clean. You don't have to have any criminal record.
Our name is Afrikaners. Our language is Afrikaans. Right. So we feel part of this continent, and maybe people don't agree, but I don't have another home. Obviously I know that I have European roots.
Yeah.
400 years ago.
Yeah.
For 400 years my people have been here.
Yeah.
I love Africa. I don't want to live anyplace else. The question, why can't a black person come here, is not the right question. It's more a question like a marriage between two people. It's an exclusive affair. Doesn't mean you're against anyone else. We want to preserve our culture. We want to preserve our traditions, our faith, our language. These are the things that we want to preserve.
But someone might ask, if you want to preserve your culture, you're preserving your culture on a land that belongs to South Africans.
The land here we bought, we paid for it.
From who?
Well, at that stage we bought it from the previous owner, which was the government. Right?
But I don't think an African can leave Africa, go to Europe and say that we just bought this land and no one is allowed to come in.
You most certainly can do that. You most certainly can. This is what I mean by a lack of cultural character. Somebody told me they recently went to London and they said it was all Arab, Muslim. So not only can you all go to Europe and get your own land and exclude white people, but you can infringe on their area too. Not only can you all go to Europe and get your own land and exclude white people, you can also bombard their areas too.
Stage we bought it from the previous owner, which was the government. Right?
But I don't think an African can leave Africa, go to Europe and say that we just bought this land and no one is allowed to come in.
Yes, you can. You're doing it. But imagine these people in South Africa calling white people racist. But the moment white people say, okay, we're racist, we're going to leave you all alone and be with ourselves, you all get upset. And you all say it can't exist. Think about that. Think about what I'm telling you. They're saying that white people are racist. So when white people say, okay, we're going to leave and go out here and have our own country, you all still say no. So what's your solution? I'll tell you. To be around white people, but to rule over them. That's the goal. It's just that it's no, but I tell you, it's no deeper than that. It's no deeper than that. All of this smoke and mirrors is to get just to be ruling over white people.
Policy is very clear on that. And we are also very firm that land, 80% of the land is still in the hands of the people of European origin. The original people of this country, the natives, the aborigines, they only share less than 20% of the land. Can it be fair?
Gentlemen, if I may interrupt just for a second. Mr. Shridham.
You know how weak that is? You know how weak that is? Okay, let's say Europeans came and took the land from you. That means you lost. Now, all these years later, when white folks have set up a structure that is orderly, now you want the land back. Why didn't you wage a war to get the land back when you took it, when they took it? You see, all of these people are cowards. Even based on their own false narrative, they are cowards. Because what they're saying is, you all took the land. But now, when everything is civilized and everything is orderly, now we want the land back. But you want to get the land back using white people's methods, because your method is to go in there and take it over. You know, war, tribes warring against each other. That's you all's method. So you don't want to use your method. You want to use white people's method. You want to use equity, inclusion, diversity, socialism. It's racism. It's colonialism. You want to use the victim way to get your land, to get the land back. And we all know that if black people own the land and some folks come with some money, they're still going to sell the land. See, what y'all want to address is, if black people own 100% of the land of somewhere, in 20 years, they'll own 10%. Why? Because all somebody has to do is just come and offer black folks money and they're going to sell the land. This is like, so why are we even playing around? Why are we playing around? This man said, is that fair? You talking big and bad, and you say, but is it fair? Weak. Is it fair? Those white people in South Africa are what? 7% of the population? Now y'all want to gang up on them now. Now think about this, y'all. Wherever white people went in the world, they were outnumbered. Wherever white people went in the world, they were outnumbered.
I saw you were shaking your head there at one point. Do you not agree with what was just said? But the fact is, over 70% of farming land in South Africa does belong to the white demographic, which makes up only around 8% of the total population. Wouldn't you agree?
No, I would not agree, because that is a very ignorant way of looking at the study that was conducted. That study specifically refers to title deeds. Now, if you understand South Africa, you will understand that that is a ruse. Land in South Africa is not only owned in terms of title deeds. Most of the land is owned by government and also by the trusts, including the Zulu Kingdom. The Ingonyama Trust is not registered per every single square meter as different title deeds. But the Zulus own that land. The Zulu people do own that land. So if you only count the title deeds, only the farming land that is manifested and administrated in the Western system of title deeds, yes, you will get to a certain conclusion, but that is ignorant towards the size of land that the mostly black government and the Ingonyama Trust and the Xhosa peoples of South Africa own in different land owning systems. Not understanding that will lead you to the ignorant conclusion that there is this disproportionate ownership. And what's more is to refer to Afrikaners as the Dutch is even more ignorant. Afrikaners are not Dutch. We are here for 400 years. That would be the same as for me to say that your guest is still from the Congo or further north. People migrated into South Africa.
No,
we were one of those groups, and we established infrastructure here. So to say that Afrikaners are Dutch is not the truth.
Now you notice that when he was speaking, this white guy didn't say anything. Juice Strindo. He let him speak. But when he's speaking, this Zolani has to interject. No honor, no character. So what this man's saying is giving you context. He said the government owns most of the land. He's telling you the government owns most of the land. The land that the white people have gotten isn't because they stole it. Title deed lands. So what they're doing is they're taking farmland and saying, oh, whites own most of the land. No, you're talking about farmland. The government owns all of the land. You're picking a, and this is what they do, propaganda. You're picking a specific, you're saying, let's do the study on farmland. Who owns most of the farmland? No, who owns the land, period? Oh, it's the government. And this man made a great point. He said, you're calling us Dutch, but we've been here 400 years. You're calling them African Americans, so-called, but y'all say y'all been here 400 years. So if you've been somewhere 400 years, then you are where that country is. Think about what you're saying. You've been somewhere 400 years. That means you have no ties to wherever you came from. Zero ties. 400 years? You know how many empires can get built, rise, and fall in 400 years? You know how much change happens in 400 years? Stop. What he said is right. You calling us Dutch is ignorant. We've been here 400 years. We're not Dutch. And as he's breaking this down and telling the truth, this Zolani guy can't sit still, can't be quiet. Again, it's a cultural lack of character. And I'm not even saying that Black Americans are even African. I'm saying it's a cultural lack of character.
We are native to here. My family has been here 100 years before the United States declared independence, and we are native to this country as well, and we have rightful ownership of land as well. To put everything under the excuse that there was injustices in the past and that there's a never-ending story where Afrikaner farmers are forced off their farms is simply not logical, and that's why we created the community of Orania, where Afrikaners can have a place and can build.
Imagine these people being upset because you're telling white people they're racist and they're bad. They say, okay, let us separate. And then you all say, no, you can't leave us. You can't leave us.
Of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa just signed into law land expropriation without compensation, meaning that land and other assets can be taken from people and be redistributed as the ANC government see fit. This means that Afrikaners are yet again heavily under fire from a communistic regime.
I mean, if you don't like it, why don't you go back to your country? Yeah? Go back to the Netherlands and you can make an all-white town there and none of us will care. Yeah? You call everyone with a slightly bit of melanin in their skin an illegal alien. Meanwhile, you guys are the definition of illegal aliens. Like, how do you call someone that belongs to this planet an illegal alien, bro? How? Then this clown went on to say they trust in God. Motherfucker, you think God is a racist? How do their mind work, bro? You think God is a racist? Even if you don't believe in God, you think nature is racist? Are you...
The one thing that Black people struggle with is context. That is a struggle for Black people. It is a struggle for liberals. It is a struggle for socialists. It is a struggle. Context. Context. Now, we all know that if Black people went to Europe and set up their own town or their own region, and the government said we're going to seize land, they wouldn't say, okay, we're going back to our country. They would say it was racism. You see, when it comes to Black people, what's good for the goose is never good for the gander. Because all of this is about Black people ruling over white people. So Black people have to be in proximity to white to even be Black. If all white people left South Africa today, in a couple of months, they would have a program trying to welcome them back into the country because it would be collapsing. The president of South Africa is doing a land grab. It's disgusting. These people are so threatened by these white people having their own that they just going. It's insane.
President of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, just signed into law land expropriation without compensation, meaning that land and other assets can be taken from people and be redistributed as the ANC government see fit. This means that Afrikaners are yet again heavily under fire from a communistic regime. What is the impact on Orania and how will Orania react? Firstly, Orania is in Africa and everything is unpredictable in Africa. However, we trust in God, the institutions that we have built, our friends and more, that we will keep Orania safe and protected to the best of our ability. Our official standpoint is discussed in a full-length video where I speak with the Orania, the head of the Orania Town Council, Gawie Snyman. You can watch it. It will be soon published on our YouTube channel. Thank you very much. Trust in God.
Imagine
head
these
of the
people
Orania Town
being upset because these people want to be separate. And when they present it, they say no Black people are allowed. Why would you all want to live? Think about this. No Black people are allowed. Why would you want to live around them? Why would you want to live around them? Why? It's an all-white country. They got their own. Why would you all want to live around them? Why? I'll tell you why, because you know it's better. Because you know it's better. Exodus 20, verse 17. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. Exodus 20 and 17. So black people are in violation of the 10 commandments, because what they're asking for is they're coveting what their neighbor has. So you all want to go to Orania to destroy it, because you need to be around white people to exist. It's not a symbiotic relationship. It is a parasitic relationship. Western society and culture being the host, black culture and any other culture being the parasite. And all it does is it seeks to consume the host. And when it's all done, it's going to consume, they're going to consume each other. Why would you all want to stay around these people if they're so-called so racist?
Honors are under attack, it is true, but so are South Africans of English descent. So are South Africans of French descent. In order to have a greater impact, we need to realize that the enemy is definitely the ANC and its babies. It is the enemy of all of us. But because of the conduct of some people, we are unable to stand together simply because some people value their tribes above the rest of the country. Because we must always learn from the history of other nations, I must add this part here. The best example for us to learn from is Zimbabwe. White people there became targets. Many of them were maimed after their lands were seized by force. I think for that reason, it is a wise decision for white people to have groups they identify with. In the event of the same evil being committed in South Africa, God forbid, we know very well that we can rest easy because there is safety in numbers. But imagine if instead of identifying with their Afrikaner tribes, they identified with all non-racist South Africans. How much safer would they be in those high numbers? There are many people in South Africa who would love to take up machetes against white people. But guess what? Those people would also love to come for people like me, since I am seen as a coconut and sellout. I am seen as a person who is a traitor. But it takes a concerted effort to fight far-left ideas, to open such people's minds and eyes. We cannot have one group that seems to be on our side flying to the US to push their own agenda separate from the rest of us. South Africa is blessed to still have a functioning democracy. Democracy is not yielding the best results yet, simply because there is too much propaganda and the population is still uninformed about the best ways to better a country.
So this young lady
identifying with their Afrikaner.
So basically she's saying that, and this is what I was saying a couple of weeks ago, basically she's saying that it's not just a situation where it's just white Dutch South Africans, it's whites period in South Africa and people that disagree with the ANC. So she's saying it's more beneficial for all of us to be together versus pockets of people that all agree but are separate. And I understand what she's saying, because she's talking about just from a number standpoint, being all fragmented and scattered is going to cause a problem because it's pick you off one by one. And so she's saying it's not just South African farmers, it's white people in South Africa, period. And those that disagree with the ANC. As she said, they call her coconut and they call her sellout. But again, she is a quote unquote conservative in South Africa, but at the end, I can't even call her conservative. She just sees the truth. She sees what's going on. Imagine being labeled a conservative means you can see the truth. That's crazy. But what she says is a great point. She says, instead of identifying with Afrikaners, identify with, quote unquote, I guess I'm going to say the culture of the people that agree, because everybody isn't with what they're doing. Folks can see what they're doing. We have more in common on that side than we do against each other. But I get it. You said, well, you look like them. I don't want to fool with you. I'm gonna play this again because what she said, it sounded so good. She speaks so eloquently. They're not calling her coconut because of her head. I know that's funny. She do got a coconut head, but that's their term is being, you know what? There's another young man. Let me hold on one second. Did I send myself that video? There was another young man, and Keisha played some of it on her. Let me go to my history on YouTube. It's another young man. He talked about that same term, coconut. Let me look through my history. Another bright young man. But they're the quote unquote black conservative versions in South Africa. I'm just going through. So I thought I emailed it to myself, but apparently I didn't. Okay, I'm getting close. I'm getting close, y'all. I'm getting close. I'm getting close. I'm getting close. Oh, man. Here we go. I got it. Okay, here we go. Sorry, hold on one second. Okay, here we go. I might play her next part 2 again, but I want to get to this young man real quick, just for a minute, and then I'm gonna play this one video in the end. Hold on, let me see something. Let me get to this young man along the same lines as this young lady.
We black people love to blame everyone else for our problems. And sure, history has done us dirty. Colonialism, apartheid, systematic oppression. We've been through hell and back. I'm sure Satan could even look at our history and go, damn. But at what point do we stop pointing fingers and start looking in the mirror? Because let's be honest, a lot of what's going on in our communities today isn't just the result of past injustices. It's us.
We have a problem with the black man in South Africa. We have a serious problem. What you see here,
we put the colors, the races of perpetrators that we've arrested. All the green, as you can see, almost everything is green here, which means almost everything is black that is committing crime. Out of total of 60,000 cases, criminals that were arrested between the age of 16 and 25 years old, 16 and 25 years old, we arrested 60,000 criminals in this past financial year, in this period of 5 years, I beg your pardon, not in financial year, this 5-year period.
We're the ones making our own neighborhoods unlivable. We're the ones trashing the place. We're the ones robbing, shooting, and trafficking each other. We're the ones rapping about killing each other and calling it culture. We're the ones swimming with OnlyFans girls in hot tubs. We're the ones impregnating the little girls. And when someone like me calls it out, I'm a sellout, a coconut, or a racist. And you know what's crazy? A white person could say everything I'm about to say, and they'd get crucified faster than if their name was found in the Epstein files. But when a black person says it, silence, or worse, self-hate. Well, let's talk about it anyway, because whether we like it or not, the truth doesn't care about your feelings, and neither does Summer Sambit. Let's start with crime, because apparently we've got a PhD in it. In South Africa, crime statistics read like a horror novel. Murder, carjackings, housebreak, it's like GTA but with real consequences. And who are the victims? Mostly black people. Who are the perpetrators? Mostly black people. But somehow the government is the problem? The problem is that we've normalized criminality ourselves too. We don't snitch. We don't call out gangsters, we protect them. We let them rule the streets, terrorize our families, kidnap our children, and then complain that the police isn't doing anything about it. Bruh, you live next door to the guy with an AK-47 and an underground human trafficking business, and you're out here pretending not to see it. I'm sorry, but if I was a policeman, I wouldn't go there either, because you know what's going on. Come tell me first. And then we're out here pretending it's someone else's fault. The government isn't raising criminals. We are. We are raising sons without discipline, without role models, without fathers and self-respect. And then there's xenophobia, because apparently black unity only exists until someone from another African country moves into the neighborhood. And then suddenly it's time to burn their shops, steal their goods, kidnap them, and blame them for our problems. South Africans love to say foreigners are taking their jobs. My guy, if a dude from Angola with no connections and barely any money can cross the border and outwork you at your own game, then I don't know, man, maybe you're the problem. Foreigners.
As y'all see, this young man is spitting. As y'all can see, this young man is spitting. But you see this term black is, again, I talked about the globalization of blackness, and I talked about George Floyd was a spell that was cast on the world. So this whole black identity, again, it extends beyond color. It's a belief. It's a subconscious unifier of people of color. And so he's using black, but technically no one is black outside of America. But everything he's saying, and Keisha talked about this, is a mirror of America. It's almost like he's talking about being in America as a black person. And it's the same thing. And again, they're going to say, well, it's IQ, it's genetic. I'm going to say it's culture. It's culture. Who do you think these folks in South Africa are mimicking? Around the world, when a person of color wants to be a gangster, wants to be hood, wants to be street, who are they going to look at? Who are they going to study? They're going to study Black American culture. If someone in another country wants to be black, who are they going to study? They're going to study Black American culture. And this is why I say it is the global culture. It is what people look at to say, okay, this is what makes me black. Even though I'm in South Africa, I got to be like them to be black, because that version of black is cool. That's what's promoted. That's what's pushed. Black culture is all over TV, all in corporate America, all in the educational system, all in the government, all in Hollywood, all in sports. Black culture is everywhere. It's glamorized and it's glorified. So now you got a bunch of people around the world trying to emulate a satanic and demonic culture. But this young man was spitting.
Set up businesses in townships and work their asses off while locals sit around complaining. If a Somali shop owner, for example, can figure out how to make a business thrive in your neighborhood, but you can't, then who's really the problem? Speaking of businesses, let's talk about the sad state of black entrepreneurship. We cry about wanting more black-owned businesses, but when they exist, we don't support them. We want discounts. We want free handouts. We'll get jealous. We'll happily drop thousands on Gucci. But when it's a black-owned clothing brand, for example, suddenly it's too expensive. You know what else? Black businesses are notorious for bad service anyway. Customer service is a foreign language in half the black-owned spots you walk into. And instead of fixing this issue, we act like holding each other accountable is some kind of betrayal. We have no problem with spray painting farmers' cars kill the Boer. But the moment a white person would do something even similar, we demand him to be in jail in seconds. And because of that, I want to talk about the elephant in the room. The fact that black fathers are disappearing faster than power during stage 6. We've normalized the absence of fathers like it's no big deal. But it is a big deal. Statistics don't lie, sweetie. Fatherless homes breed crime, poverty, and broken families. We love to blame the system, but at some point, men need to stop running away from their responsibilities. If you made a kid, then raise the damn kid. Stop being another statistic. And to the women who pick deadbeat men and then act shocked when they leave, what did you expect? Choosing.
This young man is spitting, and his name is the Sambit. But this young man is spitting. And it's funny that what he's saying can literally be applied to America. It sounds the exact same problems, the exact same problems. Because what I'm saying is that black culture is built in opposition to structure, to normality, to principle. Like, so it can't even exist peacefully with order. It can't. And again, these folks in South Africa, what are they mimicking and imitating? Even down to the language of being called black. That comes from black culture in America. And it is a mirror, Nikki, because they're looking at America, say, how everybody's saying, how can I be black? Okay, let's study black people in America. Now, when somebody wants to study black folks in America, what are they going to study? Again, you all can follow this young man. His name is the Sambit. The Sama, S-A-M-A, Sambit, S-A-M-B-I-T, the Sambit. When they want to be black, they're going to look at black culture in America. But when they study black culture, what are they going to discover? Slavery, oppression, segregation, Jim Crow, systemic rape. You see that police brutality. Like, so again, studying black culture is imitating black culture is the problem. They're not individually studying black people. They're studying black culture. They're not studying black conservatives. They're not studying black folks with sense. They're studying black culture, and they're getting the same results. Because black culture says that this is how you become black. This is how you get back at white people. Everything he said these folks are doing, from the murders to the trafficking to the sexual assaults to the fatherless homes to all of this stuff, to the poor black business services, to poor black, all of that, at the end of all of that, they're going to say it's white people's fault. So this young man and this young lady that I just played, excellent. I think her page is called.
Owners are under attack.
Her page is called citizen_concerned on TikTok. Citizen_concerned. Okay, I just wanted to just play something real quick before I get out of here. This is gonna be good though. Y'all are gonna enjoy this. It's foolishness. I'm gonna do a part 2 of this on Tuesday. I forgot what I named it. Okay. Here we go. I got it. Here we go. Here we go.
Time out. You need to listen right now, okay?
You white, I'm black, I don't want to
So
get
you're
killed.
racist. So why are you being racist? Why are you being racist?
My husband
Where are you
is
going?
white. My husband
Stop.
is white.
Stop now. Come on over here. Stop doing that.
Okay,
Stop acting like
I
this.
did.
You're acting
I'm
like a
afraid.
child.
I'm afraid. I don't know
Stop.
what to do.
Stop going
What do
over
you-
here.
I just walked
You
the
need to
line.
listen.
My hands are
No.
up. I have
Did
no
I
weapons.
tell you to walk?
I promise you I don't have anything,
What
sir.
is your name?
Oh my God.
What's your name?
He got my license,
This
sir.
is really
He got
easy.
my license.
All you have to do.
Oh my God.
Why are
I
you
walked
not
the
listening?
right line.
Why are you not listening?
I walked the
Why
right
are you
straight
not listening?
line. I walked the straight line.
Why are you
Oh
not
my God.
listening? Stand. All you have to do is stand.
My hands are up. I don't have no weapons.
What's your
Please
name?
don't choke me or hurt me,
What's
please.
your name? Go ahead and stand right here for me. Bring your feet
Oh
together,
my
hands at
God.
your sides.
Oh my God. I have no weapons, please. I haven't done anything. I had to go
Right,
to
you're
the
not
potty
listening
really
either.
bad. I had
You're
to
not
go to the
listening.
potty
Are you
really,
listening?
really bad.
Are you listening
I
right
had to
now?
go to the potty really
Are
bad.
you listening?
You told
Stand
me to
right
stay
here.
right here.
No, I told
oh
you to
my
stand
God,
right
you
here.
said, well, I gotta come so close to you. I'm afraid to come close to you. I don't want to
Okay,
come
listen,
close
I'm
to
going to
you.
advise you of a thing called your Taylor warnings, okay?
Oh my God.
I suspect that you're driving
something
under...
gonna
Stop
happen.
talking!
Oh my God.
Stop talking!
I don't want to die.
You're not listening.
I don't want to die.
You get back in the car.
Sir,
You're
I
not
don't
listening.
wanna
You get back in the
die.
car. Get back in the car.
That's my twin sister.
Get back in the car. We're trying to deal with it.
That's my
Listen.
twin. Don't tell me to get back in the car.
I
That's
will
my
tell you to
twin
get back in
sister.
the car because you're interfering with our investigation.
You're not
Get in the car.
and talk to me. I don't want to die.
Why are you acting like a child?
Anything.
Why are you acting like a
I don't
child?
want to die.
Stop acting like a child. You get out of the car again. You're
So you all want white people to deal with this nonsense. Now you're saying you're afraid of the police, but you're simultaneously not listening to the police. You're saying that I am afraid for my life of the police, but I'm also not going to listen to the police. And then when white people say, you know what, y'all can have it, y'all say y'all can't leave. You're crazy. You all are nuts. You're telling them that you're afraid of them, but you're also not going to listen to them. But if you get arrested, it's because of racism. What black people are asking for is satanic and ungodly. This woman is acting a complete fool. A complete fool. You know why she's doing this? Because she's been drinking. She doesn't want to get in trouble. She doesn't fear for her life. I have a white husband. I have a white. What is that? What are you talking about? She doesn't want to get in trouble. Now, many folks will look at this and say low IQ. I'm telling you, it's culture because she's lying. She doesn't want the consequence. She's been drinking. She's probably driving crazy. She gets pulled over and she doesn't want to get in trouble. So what black folks always do is blame racism. That's what they always do.
You're going to jail for resisting obstruction. You understand?
I didn't do anything wrong.
Well, first of all, you were speeding, and I want you to.
I don't want to die.
Stop acting like a child. You get out of the car again, you're going to jail for resisting obstruction. You understand?
I didn't do anything wrong.
Well, first of all, you were speeding, and I want you to stop talking.
I gotta go to the potty so bad. Please, my hands are
I want you to stop talking.
My hands are all. What do you want me to do?
To stop talking.
What do you want me to
Stop
do?
talking.
Oh my God.
Stop talking. Lower your hands. Lower your hands. You're being advised of your Taylor warnings. If you do not cooperate and participate in these exercises, you are not going to dispel my concern that you're driving under the influence of alcohol, chemical, or controlled substance.
Taylor warnings are specific to Florida case law and help build a case if a suspect is not cooperating with a drunk driving investigation.
I did not tell you to walk a straight line.
You told me to walk a straight line.
No, I asked you if you could walk a straight line.
I could.
Next, your inaction to participate in these exercises will force me to make an arrest based on the totality of the circumstances as I know them to this point, and it will be used against you in court. Are you willing to do these exercises?
I don't know
yes
what you
or no?
said. I'm so afraid right now.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you one more time. Not doing these exercises is going to force me to make an arrest based on the totality of the circumstances, and it will be used against you in a court of law. Are you willing to do these exercises?
Whatever exercises,
okay.
sir, just don't kill me,
So
please.
place your hands down at your sides.
I'm scared.
Place your hands down at your sides.
Why? I want to let you know.
Again, I'm afraid of the police, but I'm also not going to listen to the police. I'm afraid if I don't do what you tell me to do, I'm going to die. But I'm also not going to do what you tell me to do because I might die. Like, it's just insanity. And again, this is all to cover the fact that she's drunk driving. That's it. She doesn't really believe it. She's not a victim. None of this stuff is true. You got on all these African garb, but your husband is white. You're pro-black, but your husband is white. You're pro-black, your husband is white, but you're afraid of white police officers. You're pro-black, your husband is white, but America's racist. This is the confusion and chaos that black folks want you to be a part of. Confusion and chaos.
So place your hands down at your sides.
I'm scared.
Place your hands down at your sides.
Why? I want to let
Maybe
you know
she
I have
doesn't
no
understand
weapons.
because she is under the influence. Because
I am not under the influence,
Then put your
ma'am.
hands down at your side.
Why do I have to? I'm afraid. I don't want him to think I got weapons. I don't have no weapons,
Did
sir.
anybody say you had a weapon?
Oh my God, I'm afraid. My hands are up. I have nothing.
Ma'am, listen to me. Listen to me.
Ma'am, you accuse me of drinking. I know.
She didn't accuse you of anything.
She said she must be under influence. Exercise you want me to do? What exercise you want me to do?
I want you to stand right here.
I'm afraid to come close to you.
I want you to stand.
So again, I wish I had this whole video because again, what black people are asking is insanity. Listen to this conversation.
Kill me,
so
please.
Place your hands down at your sides.
I'm scared.
Place your hands down at your sides.
Why? I want to let
Maybe
you know I have no
understand
weapons.
because she is under the influence.
I am not under the influence.
Then put your hands down at your side.
Why do I have to? I'm afraid. I don't want him to think I got weapons. I don't have no weapons.
Did anybody say you had a weapon?
Oh my God, I'm afraid. My hands are up. I have nothing.
Ma'am, listen to me. Listen to me.
Ma'am, you accuse me of drinking. I know.
She didn't accuse you of anything.
She said she must be under influence. Exercise you want me to do? What exercise you want me to do?
I want you to stand right here.
I'm afraid to come close to you.
I want you to stand.
Well, if you.
I really want to find that full video. I'm looking on YouTube. Oh man, where is it? I can't find it, man. I really want to know how this ended. I really do. Let me see. I don't know what I could look up. Man. Oh, I found it. Oh, I found it. Did I find it? Oh, this might be good, y'all. Y'all, I think we found it, y'all. Oh, hold up, y'all. Hold up. Yep. Oh, got it. Got it. Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Let me fast forward. I don't know where we are in this video. Let me see. Okay, let me.
Are you taking my wig off? It is.
Because you failed. He told you a couple times.
No, I'm so afraid, dude.
Why? Because you're being racist to me. I'm gonna come close.
I am not under the influence.
Then put your hands down at your side.
Why do I have to? I'm afraid. I don't want them to think I got weapons. I don't have no weapons,
Did
sir.
anybody say you had a weapon?
Oh my God, I'm afraid.
Okay.
My hands are up. I have nothing.
Ma'am, listen to me. Listen to me.
Ma'am, you accused me of drinking. I know.
She didn't accuse you of anything.
She said she must be under influence. Exercise you want me to do? What exercise you want me to do?
I want you to stand right here.
I'm afraid to come
I
close
want
to
you to stand. Well, if you don't come close to me, I'm gonna come close to you.
Okay, what do
so
you
bring
want
your
me
feet
to do?
together.
What do you
Hands at your sides. Hands at your sides. Weapon.
I have nothing.
You see the top of this pen?
Oh my God.
You're not listening.
Of course I see the top of the pen,
lower your
sir.
hands to your sides.
Morel, did you call for help?
Lower your help is here.
I hope no, you're not my
You
help.
see the top of this pen?
Oh my God.
Maybe if you stop being racist for a second and listen.
This woman said, did you call for help? Do you understand how privileged this is? You talk about privilege. This woman is in front of 3 or 4 police officers, asked to conduct take a part of a sobriety test, and she is telling her sister to call for help. Who you gonna call besides? Who you gonna call, the government? Who you gonna call, the National Guard? Who you gonna call? Like, you ain't listened this whole time. You tell your sister to call for help. Who you gonna call? Who are you going to call? Yes, she's racist. Because you're saying, I don't have to listen to you because you're a white police officer. That's racism. But you're afraid.
Being racist, I'm afraid for my life, dude.
Why? Because you're being racist. Because you are being
Why are you behind me, sir? You ready to take me down?
You're making this more. Come on.
I don't want to die. I didn't do nothing. I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to die tonight.
You're gonna follow this.
I just don't want to die tonight. Please don't
You
kill
see
me.
the top of this pen. You're gonna
Please
follow this.
don't kill
Stop
me.
talking.
I don't want to die. I promise you I didn't do
10-15.
nothing.
10-15.
Oh
You're
my
under
God.
arrest for driving under the influence of alcohol, chemical, or controlled substance.
I'm under arrest for what?
Because you failed. He told you a couple times.
No, I'm so afraid.
Well, you shouldn't have been. There's no need.
Oh my God. I
don't even have tears, ma'am. You don't even have tears.
It's all in the She's being racist out here.
You don't even have tears, ma'am. It's all an act. You don't even have tears. It's all an act. You're just being right. Like they called it out. You don't even have any tears. It's all an act. That's all it is. You playing.
The supervisor, can I have the supervisor?
Sure, you sure can. I will call the supervisor for you. Draft 13, I have a supervisor. Individual's not happy with my police service.
Maria, come get my drink. Oh, she threw my stuff on the ground. She threw my stuff on the ground.
Yes, I'm
taking it off gently.
What is
going on? Like that.
I'm so afraid. I want to be safe.
You're the safest person in the city. You have police officers with you.
No, sir. No, it's too much going on. I don't feel safe.
Ain't nothing going on.
OMG. What are you doing?
Is this connected?
My God, are you taking my wig off? It is.
Sewn in. Then they'll take it off at the counter.
Oh, I'm being arrested.
You are being arrested because you didn't participate in the exercise.
Sir, I walked a straight line.
I didn't tell you to walk a straight line.
A straight line.
I didn't tell you to.
OMG. I got to pee so bad.
I wonder why you got to pee so bad.
I was drinking a lot of water. I had sparkling water.
Okay, then you should have done the exercises. You would have had no problem.
God. I'm sewed in, sweetie.
I need to check to make sure you don't have any. I feel metal, ma'am. So I have to make sure you don't hurt my office.
I'm in cuffs. How am I hurt an officer? I'm in cuffs, ma'am. I cannot hurt somebody. I don't want to get hurt. I am.
How can you do all that and not have tears? That's what's interesting.
Sir,
It's interesting that you're trying to cry without tears.
Scared. I just don't want to get. I don't want to get hurt. Morel, look in my wallet. I have my attorney in the wallet. Please call my attorney right now.
Well, we're not going to talk to him.
No.
Morel, just call the attorney, please. Please don't break that, ma'am.
I didn't. I've been taking very much care of your items.
Thank you. Morel, please call my.
Listen. That wig ain't going nowhere. That police officer was like, man, she said, forget it. I'm going to take this jewelry off. She tried to go for that wig. That wig got a combination lock on it. That wig is not coming off. That wig is not coming off. She got a combination lock, padlock, glue, digital lock. She got everything on that. That wig ain't coming off. That wig ain't coming off at all. America's racist, but you got a white husband. America's racist, but you got a white husband. You got on African cloth, but you wearing a wig. You got on attire from the motherland, but you wearing a wig. Okay. Okay.
Attorney, right now.
Morel? Okay. Right now she's under arrest for suspicion of DUI.
Why?
I just like to confirm you just took a necklace.
That's my twin sister.
Okay. Okay. And here's a bracelet.
She didn't do anything.
Okay. Well, all she had to do.
Just go home.
Ma'am, can I speak?
I'm not an idiot, and I'm an educated woman. So don't talk to me like I'm an idiot.
I'm a 40-year-old man, and I'm talking to you with the same respect that I get from you.
So please don't talk to me like I'm dumb.
I'm not.
Because I'm very, very smart.
I'm trying to explain to you the process on what's happening. Sergeant Leffler, for transparency.
Listen, y'all. I can't do it. I can't do it. There is no way I could be a police officer. There's no way. There's no way I could do it. Ain't no way. Deal with this? You cry. I wish I would.
Purposes, this discussion is going to occur on body-worn camera, sir. Okay. I pulled this vehicle over because I observed it traveling 71 miles an hour in the outside through lane. The vehicle slow rolled to a stop right here. Upon contact, I made contact with that woman in the driver's seat, Miss.
Before Hack Reactor, I was delivering.
Driver's license photo. Upon contact, the odor of an unknown alcoholic beverage coming off of her breath. Gathered her information, went back, conducted my records check, waited for 94 to arrive so I could resume my investigation. Asked her to exit the vehicle. She starts pulling out the phone. She gave me a little bit more of a hard time going back and forth with me about getting.
And I was afraid. And I say, sir, I got my hands up. I'm touching the wheel. I'm not doing anything. He said, come out and walk a straight line. I walked this straight line with no problems. Then he said, okay, I need you to do additional things. And then he said, no, you're not complying. I'm going to arrest you. For what? I don't know. I've never been in trouble. You check my thing. I don't want to die tonight. That's all I told him. I got out. I walked this straight line. Okay. Now I'm in handcuffs.
Well, there's a series of tasks that he has you to perform.
I don't mind.
Major things of those tasks is listening to instructions is one of the major points of it.
I'm trying to understand why I'm being detained.
Well, you're under arrest now.
Under arrest for what, sir?
Suspicion of
Suspicion of DUI. I don't have any DUI.
So when I came up, she was yelling. He was trying to give her the instructions. She just kept
I
yelling.
say I want to make sure I don't die. I don't get hurt. Please, sir. Please, I want to do anything he do. Ma'am, I'm not going to run at all.
Are you done?
I don't need to. What do you want me to do?
We're going this way.
Please don't hurt me, please.
No one's gonna hurt you.
That's how to do what we're
I'm
asking.
complying, ma'am.
Okay,
Please
you're gonna
don't
go in
hurt
here.
me. Please don't hurt me.
Turn around. It's better that you put your.
I'm complying. Okay, I'm complying. Please don't hurt me.
Watch your head.
Please don't hurt me. I'm complying. I'm totally complying.
So the supervisor comes and she just tells a bold-faced lie, like she hasn't been on camera this entire time. Like she just said, I walked a straight line and he asked me a question and put me in handcuffs. The what? Again, she's drunk. She's been driving under the influence and she's drunk. That's it. Then the sisters in the car talking about, I'm a 45-year-old woman, I'm educated. Don't talk to me like I'm dumb. I'm like, what do y'all want white people to do? Dear black people, what do you all want white people to do? What do you want them to do? If they talk to you with respect, they're being condescending. If they talk to you loud, they're being rude. Like, what do you want them to do? You don't want to comply with the officers. You don't like what do you, I'll tell you what you want. You want to torture them. You want revenge. You want to make life hell for white people. That's all. That's it. That's all. You want to make life hell for them. That's it.
I understand.
For what it's worth, calling an attorney right now is not going to do anything. She's getting released in 8 hours regardless. And the attorney's not getting released.
I can't believe I'm being arrested. I'm 45 years old being arrested for what?
Driving under the influence.
I'm not under the influence. Can I get a drug test? Can I get an alcohol test or something?
All that at the.
Do the test. It's not going to say I'm under the influence at all.
That'll be explained to you down there. Officer Flink will explain everything to you, okay?
Brothers.
And gave her tailored warnings, and trying to give her instructions. When I came out, the officer, the DUI officer, was trying to give her instructions and gave her tailored warnings and kept trying to explain to her, listen, if we don't do them tailored warnings twice, it's basically saying, in summary, we're going to take you on what we have right now if you're refusing to do these tasks to show. And she wouldn't listen. She just literally just kept screaming and don't get near me, and you don't get near me, and I'm afraid. And so
Everything we do is standardized.
she'll be able to.
I'm just asking.
She'll be able to call you when everything's set. The first part of it, she will be given the breathalyzer, which she kept saying she wanted to take. If she wants to take a drug or alcohol, she can do that at her own expense for the blood.
You couldn't do it right on the spot.
We couldn't even get her to do any like basic tasks. Like she wouldn't do anything. The only thing she kept screaming at us was, "Don't hurt me! You're gonna kill me!" Like all this stuff, and that's where we're at. She didn't want to participate on the tasks that needed to be done. So we can't just go, "Okay, you don't want to do them, so drive it off."
You guys have anything else for us? Appreciate you coming to pick up the car. We didn't want to tow it. Gentlemen, thanks for coming. Take care.
Honestly, the driver of this vehicle needs to pursue a career in acting. Hey everyone, I'm John. I appreciate you watching. Now, before I begin, let me say this. Departments across the country, a police officer.
So, all right, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in today. That's today's show. I love y'all, but hold on before I go. Now, you see when the brothers show up, or whoever these men are, I think it's brothers, Panthers, whoever. Now, imagine them having to deal with those two women. Most black men are prisoners of war. Most black men already have PTSD from even growing up with black women. They do. So these men are coming up here and they know good and well she's in the wrong. They got to try to tell the other sister to be quiet. If the other sister ain't being quiet and she's in the car, what do you think the one outside of the car drunk is doing? So again, most black men are under duress. They don't put their foot down, and they deal with black women. I'm sorry to say it, man. These black men showed up. They're like, this don't make no sense. And they know the officers are telling the truth. They know it. Because they deal with these women. They know. This woman said, I'm educated. Don't talk to me like that. All that man said was, ma'am, I'm talking to you calmly and with respect. Don't talk to me like I'm educated. I'm like, dude, no. So anyway, listen, I love y'all. And I will see you all again on Tuesday. Thank you for the super sticker. Cruise missile, thank you so much. I really appreciate it so much. I will see y'all on Tuesday. I want y'all to have a blessed day. Thank y'all for tuning in. Instagram, I love y'all too. Thank y'all for tuning in. But yeah, I will see y'all back again on Tuesday for part 2. Love y'all. Thank you.